Joining us now is Dr. Twila Moon, and she is a research scientist at the National Snow and Ice Data Center. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Let's begin about talking about the next generation of cryosphere scientists and what's in store.
The next generation of cryosphere scientists is growing. There are many more people working on this topic than there used to be, and people are understanding this changes in the different components of the system, but they're also now reaching out and really helping people to connect decisions and environmental planning and business and government elements to what's happening in the changing cryosphere. So we're not just understanding what's changing in the cryosphere, but also how it impacts people and ecosystems.
And specifically, let's talk about the human-caused climate change and how cryosphere scientists are working in terms of connecting that information.
Yes, we're looking closely at the differences that human actions in warming the planet and increasing air and ocean temperatures, how those are playing out in the cryosphere now, but also really importantly, looking at how potential future actions might influence the cryosphere, because there's a really big range between the change that's more minimal that might happen with significant human action and the more substantial changes if we're not following through on reducing greenhouse gases.
Is it challenging right now in terms of communicating this science? How are cryosphere scientists communicating the importance of this science?
That is something that we are honestly learning while doing. There's a increase in appreciation of how important communication of this is, and especially because we're seeing such dramatic changes, and they do impact all parts of the world. And people are getting much more active in talking with their communities, with governments and policymakers, taking to social media, as well as trying to write papers and put forward media that is more accessible to non-scientists. But we're still improving.
What are those dramatic changes, and what should be communicated to those that aren't scientists?
Yeah, well, you can imagine the cryosphere, we're studying all the things that are frozen. And so increasing temperatures and increasing in the air or the ocean, that has the potential to melt those frozen parts of the Earth system. And we're seeing that happen with dramatic losses of sea ice in the Arctic, where that number this year was the second lowest on record. We're also seeing a lot of land ice loss, and land ice is what adds to sea level rise. So higher storm surges, more flooding, that's the sort of impacts we're seeing from land ice. And as permafrost, frozen ground thaws, we're releasing more greenhouse gases into the atmosphere and exacerbating warming. So all of the parts of the cryosphere have been changing dramatically because of these increased temperatures, just like taking an ice cube out of your freezer and leaving it in the warmer air on your kitchen counter.
Absolutely. All right, Dr. Moon, thank you so much for your time and information.
Yeah, thank you.